What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And this one I want to break down what's happening with Tesla and the overall markets. I'm going to break down why next week is going to be very important as we have some updates from President Trump and Jerome Powell, not to mention what's going on with Tesla's Robotaxi event. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you sign up for Moomoo with the link down below and deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed at 25 in total. And deposit $5,000 and you're guaranteed 60 free stocks. The offer ends at the end of July, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with Tesla. So, looking at Tesla, as you guys can tell, we're just going back and forth between supply and demand. And we're getting tighter and tighter as I'm speaking. Now, if you want to be bullish on Tesla, we have to try to get back above this 333 area to really break out higher. And if we turn bearish, you want to see us essentially fill at this 313 zone. Now, the whole Tesla event for the Robotaxi, they have this big launch that could be coming as soon as June 22nd or this coming Sunday. And that could be very, very massive for Tesla, either causing a big move to the upside or the downside. So the question is, what's happening so far? What is Elon Musk talking about? Let's talk about all these details. The first thing is that the launch is going to be happening with a limited number of Tesla vehicles. The reason for that is because, once again, Tesla's starting small, then they're going to be increasing everything as time goes on. Also, keep in mind the initial rides are going to be in the Tesla Model Y, not the Cybercab that was unveiled in October. Access to the vehicles and rides is by invitation only. So keep that in mind. That's how it's starting off. It's going to be kind of small to start things off, and it will expand a lot more. Tesla once again, and it's been confirmed that they're going to be trying to launch this on June 22nd, unless plans change as soon as tomorrow. But as of right now, that's what it's looking like. And Tesla has been getting some criticism because of this right here. There's been some more details about the Robotaxi, as there's going to be a safety monitor in the front seat. They've released these details about the planned launch event that's coming this weekend, and there's going to be a safety monitor in the front seat, according to these reports. Now, I know that this is getting them lots of criticism because many people were expecting them to be fully autonomous instead of having some kind of monitor right in the front. But I just wanted to say that, having the monitor there just in case something goes wrong is not a bad idea. The planned service is going to be geofenced with a teleoperation supported ride hailing service operated by a small internal fleet. That's different from a fully autonomous vehicle, which I completely understand why, some of these headlines are just negative about Tesla, why Tesla's getting a lot of criticism. There's also a lot of requirements needed. But just know that despite that, it's still a great piece of news that Tesla's trying to launch this, and it's still going to be very bullish for the long term. I still think that this is just the start, right? You have to give them some slack. They're just starting off with this. This is a very, very new thing for them. And I think it's going to be very big for them in the future. But the thing is, this is not a fully autonomous, launch in a way. It's going to be like geofence. There's going to be a lot of like limitations and such. So with the limitations that are going to be associated with this, it's not going to be a full-on launch of the Robotaxi that's fully autonomous yet. There's going to be an internal team that's going to monitor everything, and simultaneously, they're just trying to be as safe as possible. But as time goes on, okay, this is just the start. This is just the launch. Eventually, they're not going to have people involved. Eventually, the cars are going to drive themselves and get people around, and it may happen sooner than a lot of people are expecting. The scalability of this is very, very awesome. So I still think this event is very bullish for Tesla's long term. I'm just not sure about what the initial reaction is going to be because Tesla's starting to show signs of rejection. We're technically inside of this wedge. We haven't really lost critical support. We also have not broken resistance. We're stuck in the middle, going back and forth for now. So we'll just have to see what ends up happening. I'll give you guys an update depending on what Elon Musk and the team says tomorrow, but that's what we're looking for at least thus far. Now, for the market, we're very flat right now, right? We had Nvda in the red, Apple in the green. Most tickers were actually like either flat or red, but some tickers were green, like Nvda. Tesla was also very flat for close, so we're going to see how well this holds up. Finally, don't forget that next week is going to be important because on Monday we have the S&P Global Manufacturing Services PMI reports. On Tuesday, we have Jerome Powell giving a testimony in front of the House Finance Committee. Then on Wednesday, we have Powell giving another testimony in front of the Senate's committee. And then on Thursday, we have very important GDP numbers, followed by PCE on Friday. So that's what the calendar looks like for now. Lots of stuff coming out almost every single day. When it comes to the news involving Israel and Iran, the situation is very intense, but President Trump says that he wants to bring peace to the two nations. And simultaneously, he mentioned that there's going to be a 2 week deadline because of the fact that Iran have said that they are willing to negotiate at the White House. So they're giving it some time to determine if the US is going to get involved by striking Iran and their nuclear facilities. This is a map of what it looks like. They're going to wait and see. So that's going to give the market some leeway. Simultaneously, President Trump announced today that there's going to be trade deals coming with India and Pakistan. That's a very, very massive piece of news, so keep that in mind. If we get a nice trade deal with India, that could help the market to some extent, maybe causing somewhat of a move. And also, we'll see what Jerome Powell says. Will he cause the market to bounce or dump? We'll see about that. The earnings calendar looks like this. There's not much on Monday. On Tuesday, we have FedEx and BlackBerry. On Wednesday, we have General Mills and Jeffries. On Thursday, we have Nike, so keep that in mind. Anyways, as far as Tesla's going, we're going to see if we could break 333 to be more bullish or if we lose 312 to be more bearish. I'm not sure about this. It depends on how the launch goes. If it doesn't really, impress investors because Tesla has to do work and they have to work with internal employees and have the monitors. If we're bearish, we could be looking for a downside move. And sometimes after big events for Tesla, you have a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of a reaction that could lead to some downside. So just in case, make sure you guys are prepared just to be safe. But if we get a bullish reaction, you want to see Tesla basically get back above this resistance. I honestly can't make promises about this. The weekly is not looking that great, but the daily is looking not too bad. So we're in the middle. We're very indecisive and range bound. So I'm going to wait and see what happens with this big launch event. So make sure you guys are prepared for that. For SPY, okay, SPY is looking a little weak, but there's good news. There's good news and bad news. The bad news is we're technically on a small downtrend here, but the good news is that we love to bounce near 595 and reject near the low 600s. So we're still technically going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. As long as we can hold 595 though, and as long as there's no major bad news, we could actually see a bounce next week back up to 600 if we hold 595. So we'll see about that, but there is potential to bounce. On the QQQ, same thing. If we could hold 527 next week, we're looking for an attempt for 530. If we end up losing, however, the 525 area, we're looking for a dump back down. So there's upside potential for a bounce. The Russell's holding support. We want to see if this can get back above 212 to bounce. If we end up losing 208, we're looking for a dump. We're consolidating right here, and we'll see if we get back up above 212. ES is looking more bullish. We have a bullish divergence. We're going to see if we could break 6,080 to push higher. There's an inverse head and shoulders pattern. So if we could hold 6,000, we're looking for a big bounce for 6,080. If we lose 6,000 though and fail there, that could be dumping. So we'll see just to be safe which way we go. NQ likes to bounce near 21,700. And we like to reject near 22,200. So I want to see if we could hold support and rebound. So give it some time. On Bitcoin, we're making lower highs here. We could be dipping back down to 102,000. We'll see how that goes. Like I said before, Tesla's just consolidating here. We're going to see if we break it to the upside or the downside. Sometimes these events are buy the rumor, sell the news. So sometimes you get negative reactions if it's not really enough to wow investors or if it's just a small launch. So be careful, guys. Tesla could go either way. I just want to give you guys a warning about that. Nvidia is dipping a bit. We have a gap to fill. It might be dipping to 142, and we'll see if it bounces off of that. Apple's bullish. So as you guys can tell, the market's very mixed. Some tickers are weak, some are strong. Apple looks like it's going for 203 to 205, so it looks very strong right now. AMD, I'm just going to go over a couple of these, and I'll go over more of these on Sunday. Palantir has kind of a head and shoulders. We could be dipping towards 135, and we'll see if we bounce. However, looking at AMD, this is also kind of dipping and might retest 127. We'll see if we bounce off that. It could be coming down just a bit. Coinbase is also in the middle. We're going to see if 300 holds. If not, we could be dipping more. So keep that in mind. Amazon is also making a double top here. We could be retesting 212, and we'll see if we reject here or not. But it depends. Can we hold 208 on Amazon? If that fails us, I do expect more downside. But we did get 3 bounces between 207 to 208. We got bounce, bounce, bounce. So it could be bouncing back up to 212 if that holds. On Meta, we're also trying to hold 680. If that holds, we're looking for a rebound for 686 or above. If we lose 680, though, we could be dumping lower. So I want to see us rebound back up to 690. On Google, we're also rejecting here. We could be dipping back down towards 164 in case that fails. And then Microsoft might be dipping to 475, and we'll see if we bounce off that. There might be a small dip coming. So the VIX is indecisive. It's still technically just shopping around. Can we break 22 to be bullish, or do we come back down to 19.35 to be bearish? It could go either way, so keep that in mind. So as far as Tesla goes, we're indecisive. I need to wait and see what happens in the next couple of days now this launch goes, and we'll see if Tesla gets a rejection or not. So be very, very patient. These events could be unpredictable, so give it some time. I know the weekly is not looking too strong, but we need to be very, very patient. There's going to be a lot of volatility next week with Jerome Powell and all the data that's coming out, so be ready for a very interesting week. Thank you for listening, guys. I'll give you guys more updates very soon, but as of right now, Tesla remains very indecisive. Thank you for listening, and peace out.